Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide, coming to you live from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ruth Aguela. Now let's begin with legislative matters. Senate has received executive communication from President Muhammadu Buhari requesting the confirmation of Justice Ibrahim Tanko as Chief Justice of Nigeria and 15 special advisors to the President. The legislators at Thursday's plenary also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Ignatius Onkwo tells us more on the trade agreement motion.
Well, after a long wait, Nigeria has signed the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. President Muhammadu Buhari signed the agreement at the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union. And then 1 week after this agreement, the Senate has commended the President and urged the federal government to ensure that Nigeria expands its production sector so as not to allow this agreement make Nigeria a dumping ground. Senator Jibrin Barau moved that motion, which was extensively debated on the floor of the Senate. He's here to tell us more on the essence of that motion. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, let me commend Mr. President, as I made mention in my motion, that government should continue to make sure we have all these infrastructures put in place so that the cost of production of goods produced in Nigeria will be competitive globally. It's only through that we can fully benefit from this agreement.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, we still have Senator Buhari Abdul Fatai. He's here to tell us how do you feel about this motion and the signing of this agreement by the President?
Beautiful, because which means Nigerians have come of age. If you look at the mover of the motion, when he said it in the body of the motion that the President initially refused, this now set up a technical committee to review the pros and the cons of the treaty, and eventually we found out that the advantage we are going to have is more than the disadvantage, which means Nigeria have come of age. Though there is a fear that Nigeria may become a dumping ground, but the issue has been taken care of. When you make your own product very competitive, it is better because it will generate more employment.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, the Senate also resolved to invite the management of the Nigerian Communications Commission over the issue of inefficient service by telecommunication companies, especially in the cases of call drops and interruption of calls. This is what we have for you from the Red Chamber at the moment.
Thank you, Ignatius. And still on legislative matters, reducing the cost of governance, amendment of the Electoral Act, and the need to have more women participation in the legislature are some of the prospects for consideration on the legislative agenda of the 9th National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Omoto
governance
that sometimes
included will also be included.
The legislative agenda, which started during the 6th Assembly, has become a norm in the National Assembly. From the National Assembly, Omotola Omojola, NTA News.
Against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons to coordinate and implement activities towards combating the act in line with ECOWAS Convention on the matter. Deliberating on the bill sponsored by Representative Mohammed Mongono from Borno State, members believe security agencies, especially the police, are overwhelmed by the prevailing security issues across the country. Therefore, it becomes imperative for the establishment of the commission. Other members who supported the bill are of the view that the commission, when established, will be a one-stop shop for mopping up illegal possessed small arms and light weapons by non-state actors. The bill was referred to the Committee on National Security and Intelligence when constituted for further legislative action. And Nigeria has marked the 3rd African Anti-Corruption Day with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission organizing a lecture on the theme for the 2019 celebration. The lecture, which was preceded by a walk to sensitize the public, attracted people from diverse backgrounds in line with African Union's wish to offer opportunity for the public and private sectors to join forces on how to combat corruption in the continent. Discussants noted that fighting corruption is a global concern that requires everybody's effort due to the fact that it affects the people disproportionately. The theme, towards a common African position on assets recovery, speakers say make it incumbent upon relevant authorities to focus on civil procedure on assets recovery and how to return it to the rightful countries. Now, AFCC on anti-corruption in Lagos still happening, and Dotun is our guide at the Center of Excellence. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Lagos. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents in the Victoria Island, Lekki and Ajah areas of the state that plans are on the way to find lasting solution to the gridlock and drainage issues in the areas. The governor gave the assurance during an
as well as cleaning of drainages in the state. As a follow-up to this, the governor disclosed that collection of toll on the Lekki-Ikoyi bridge will go fully electronic by October in order to cut off the delays caused by queues of motorists.
To celebrate through massive rates
of corruption in Lagos. Annie Daniels has details.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, since inception, has been at the forefront of crime fighting and bringing to book corrupt people. This roadwork, led by...
We have a lot of assets in billions that we've recovered, and then millions of...
In solidarity with them, we have several agencies, civil society.
Over 50 billion is being stolen every year in Africa. Money that should be used to build schools, to have hospitals, to fight insurgency, to fight insecurity. Everything has become the byproduct of corruption.
The inscriptions on the t-shirts and placards say it all. The time to end corruption is now. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after this break.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 50 games will for corporate Nigeria Felix on Zero.
For our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and indefatigable. Who have paid sisters and friends and